I've been using WSL professionally for 3 years now. I wanted to show you some of the reasons why I find WSL really cool, especially for people starting out in their software development journey. So I've got WSL up here right now, and some of the things that people find very hard to do when they first start Linux is how do you navigate using the terminal. And so the first thing I like to do for people is, let's say you are right now, for people that know Linux, I'm currently in this directory, which is home and Kimjite being my name and home being the home directory. Yes, this is where everything lives. Another way that WSL, Linux, your home directory is tilde. But I want to visually show this in Windows, and people are more comfortable when I do this on Windows. So when I teach anyone or interns or whoever I'm teaching, I've then asked them to type explorer.exe space dot. Now this isn't a Linux feature. This is just a WSL integration with Windows feature, and I think it's one of the best things. So if I press that, your Windows on the right pops up. And as you can see, this is everything that's in my home directory. So much so that if I do ls right now, notice that only GitHub is shown, which is shown on the right. That's because in Linux there's hidden files. And to show all the hidden files, you gotta use the list command, which is the ls, like before, but you gotta give an option of -a, which means display everything. And now you see every single file on the left to the right. Now, when I explain and show stuff to new people or whatever, they like to have this visual representation on Windows, which is what they're familiar with. And that's why I love this tight integration with Linux, with Windows, because people get overwhelmed when they first start software development. They don't think in code, Python, Flask, React, whatever. And then again, and tell them to download a Linux environment, and they start panicking. So the fact that the Windows has such a WSL has such a tight integration, it makes it very more intuitive for them. So actually, I'm going to go through some basic Linux stuff, but I'm going to show you on the Windows side. So let's first make a directory, and I'm going to make a directory called Hello YouTube. And if I refresh the page on the right, which is just the directory, you'll see now a new folder called Hello YouTube. Now if I go here, there's an empty folder. Now to do this in Linux, you first need to see where you need to go. So therefore there's a Hello YouTube folder or directory. And I change directory, which is change CD or change directory, to the Hello YouTube. And if I print the working directory, I can see where I am still. And I'm still in the same place, which is here. Notice it's home, Kimjite Hello YouTube again. And here I'm just going to clear the screen just to make it look tidier. And let's touch a file into existence, right? So let's just touch hello world.py. More info in there in a second. And so when I go to touch hello world.py, I will then touch a file into existence. If I do ls again here, I will see a file. And on the right, if I refresh again, hello world.py exists. Also, just in case you close this file, just a reminder that explorer.exe space dot will show you your file again. So this is awesome. This tight integration, just this feature alone where the explorer.exe just shows up, is amazing. But then the bit that blows the programmers or people that are starting out mind is that I teach them how to do a little bit of scripting. So the only script I'm doing is that, isn't that really annoying that every time you want to see where you are, you have to keep typing explorer.exe space dot, and usually the graduate or whatever goes, yeah, it's quite annoying, and they misspell it sometimes and all this other stuff. So then I showed them that if you go to your home directory, which is cd space and enter, I think it defaults to home directory, just to prove to you that I'm in the home directory. Here's the print working directory. I then asked them to go to their file for the bash rc file, which is just a file that exists in the home directory, which is, if I open up here, I'm asking them to open this file, the bash rc file, right? And first of all, they're like, I don't know how to open a text file. And that's fine. How would you open it here? Well, you just double click it. So we're just going to mimic that. And a nice way for them to do that is that because of this tight integration with Windows, If you also type code, which is what Visual Code has supported for WSL, and then type --rc, like I did before, then this file appears in Visual Studio Code. And so if I now close the terminal and close Explorer, they know that this file is just Notepad, and they can use their mouse, they can use whatever they want, and they're very happy with it. But then I showed them, hey, why don't we do something really cool where we say, we make a new code here. So if you just write a comment first saying, hey, this is my code from here. It's not true, but I got other code stuff there, but let's just say it is. And I tell them to go, you can write everything you want, which is like, I'm gonna say echo hello YouTube for first thing. And the next one, I want to set an alias up to say, if I type E, I want that to equal explorer.exe space dot. And what that means is that if I type the letter E, it will replace that with this alias and type that all for me. And then I save that file by doing Control S or whatever you normally do to save that file. And I closed it. And if I open that terminal again, the bash.rc file has a property that every time you open the terminal, it will reload that file. And I've got one that says, what good should I do today as well? And now the hello YouTube is there too. But what also means that is that my alias is saved. So therefore, if I type E and then press enter, explorer.exe works. And this blows interns away because knowing they are now programmatically coding their computer to better suit them. It gives their control and independence. And if I be honest, I just taught them CD, I taught them make directory, and I taught them how to open a file and change it, make changes and save it. That is actually the beginning of software development. And one thing I hate about Windows is it's actually really hard to install Python. So if you go back to our make YouTube folder again, which is hello YouTube, and here I made a folder called hello world. Now don't be overwhelmed here, but I'm going to use Vim, which is something that I would encourage people to learn. But in that, all it is to open a text file in the terminal. What I'm going to do is print hello world, which is a classic hello Python program to do. And the beautiful thing about Python is Linux is that to install Python, all you have to do is run this command. Install /y Python 3. Pretty much if you're using Ubuntu, right? Which is what I've downloaded in my WSL, right? And if you just do that, I need to put my password in, so 1 second. It'll go off and install it. I've already got it installed. And now, to run that program, I just need to do Python 3, hello world, and it runs my program. And suddenly, just knowing that they can do that from their computer, they can install stuff quickly, they can CD, they can touch a file into existence, they can edit it with code, and they're familiar with code because it's just familiar to them because they're used to it, and blah blah blah. The introduction to their first day of software development is a lot less jarring. The first task I get the interns to do, or graduates to do, or whoever, is actually install WSL themselves, because all it takes is Googling how to install WSL. And if I be honest, that should be a task I'll leave for the audience, because I would encourage you to just go install WSL yourself, download Python, and you're on your way to learn everything else. If you do encounter problems, do give me a message. But the reason why I think this is a very amazing tool for people to start out is when I first started on Linux, it was overwhelming, there's a lot to learn. And I couldn't understand the difference, file structures or everything, CDing, it was very confusing, there's a lot of information. But this tight integration means that you can still leverage everything you know from Windows and start Linux slowly. And I think I'm a big fan of that. So good luck and have fun, guys. And I'll see you next time.